All right, we talked a bit about whether or not a coach is going to be fired during the season. Will there be one fired by week 8 or week 9? The over-under we had at 0.5. And that led us to start speculating on the guys who may be under the most pressure. And you made a good point. A lot of the bad teams have new coaches.
Right.
So how much pressure really is there?
Yeah.
Well, who stands out to you? I know there's one guy for me who is head and shoulders above the rest as it relates to full season pressure and possibly being out of a job at the end of the year.
And you're saying Jason Garrett?
Jason Garrett.
Yeah, I mean, Jason Garrett, I think, is the guy that pops to me as well. He's going into the last year of his contract. We know Jerry Jones wants playoff wins, and he thinks this is a talented roster and certainly a Super Bowl caliber football team. So, yeah, I think that if you made me look at one guy who's under the most pressure in all of football, I would say it starts right there with him. After that, then it becomes interesting, the conversation. You know, where do you think it goes? Who's the next guy in line for you where you go pressure? Is it Pat Shurmur because of the Giants? I know you mentioned Matt.
He's only been
Patricia.
there he's only been there. This is his second year.
I know. I'm with you, but
I think Mike Zimmer's under pressure.
You think Zimmer's under pressure?
I mean, he got an extension. He didn't get an extension. They picked up the option to extend his contract by a year. So if he would get fired after this year, if they'd move on and go in a different direction because the team goes 4-12 and Kirk Cousins is a disaster and they decide to clean house. And I'm not saying they will, but you're under pressure to take this team and get this team to the playoffs, or there could be some tough questions. I think he's a guy who could be in some degree of jeopardy.
Yeah, okay. And then I guess if we're going to put them there, then we're talking pressure. Mike Tomlin's probably another guy, right?
If it's a disaster in Pittsburgh, the fans aren't going to stand for it.
Yeah, right. I mean, do you think Mike Tomlin has to make the playoffs to save his job or continue to work there?
I don't think he has to make the playoffs, but he better be better than 6-10.
Yeah.
6-10 or worse, and I think he could be in serious trouble.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see. I mean, it really would be.
Freddie Kitchens is under a ton of pressure, even though he's unlikely to get fired. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
If the Giants, then Bears, Browns, third time as a charm. If the Browns just flat out stink this year, it's going to be Kitchens' fault.
Mm-hmm.
And as the season unfolds, you're going to have agents who are reaching out to the Browns, saying, if you decide to make a change, I got the right guy. I got a guy who'd love to coach Baker Mayfield.
Right.
I got a guy who'd love to coach Baker Mayfield.
Right.
I'm not going to name names here, but that happens.
Yeah, sure.
And that could put the idea in Jimmy Haslam's head. You know what? Yeah, I've fired a lot of guys quickly, but we gave this Freddie Kitchens guy a chance. It really hasn't worked. Maybe it's time to swing for the fences. We have the players. Now we have to upgrade the coach.
Right. Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me.
No, I hear you. I mean, he is certainly under pressure with that team, and everybody's looking at them because we're all excited about it. I get it, but. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys out there.
What about your guy, Jon Gruden?
Yeah, I pressure, definitely. I think it's interesting. At least we're saying pressure, though. It's not hot seat. That's where I'm happy. We're not.
Well, they're all under pressure.
Well, yes, they're all under pressure. But those guys, I do think, have a little bit more of a microscope on them than maybe the other teams in football. Both Grudens probably are in that category.
I think everybody except Bill Belichick could have a bad enough season this year to get fired.
You think so?
Every coach.
Yeah.
McVay. 0-16. If the Rams somehow, some way would go 0-16, would McVay get fired?
No, he would not. I don't think
maybe
Sean
it's Belichick
Payton would either.
There'd be a mutual party.
What about Andy Reid?
0-16, but that's the thing. It's never going to happen.
I know.
Yeah,
but if they were
maybe.
You think so? Yeah, I feel like those guys are kind of untouchable.
I think Belichick, McVay. What about Doug Peterson?
Yeah, he's untouchable too, I think, still at this point. Yeah.
0-16 is a tough one to come back from. It's just hard to conceptualize it because these guys aren't going 0-16.
No, they're not. Exactly.
All right.